Yeah, I'm Mick. I want to talk about the MOD, the British issue survival knife, which I have here. 1998 model. Excuse me, this is my first video. J. Adams, as you can see. It's a lovely knife. I'm also talking more about the sheath it came with, but as you can see there's plenty of videos on YouTube about this knife. This one 1988, sorry, 88. I've had it about 10 years. It's razor sharp. Whoever had it before me has put a right edge on it, but otherwise it's not been modified in any way. I might just modify the handle, as you see on other videos. It's a bit straight edged, but for myself it's a lovely knife. I'm interested in knives. I have been since I was a kid. I'm not an outdoors person. I'm not a forester, a woodsman, a hunter or anything. I just like knives. But more about the sheath. Now the sheath which it issued with, this is also marked with the same model number, the same date, and of course the British Army arrowhead, which is on the knife handle as well. Now it's a pretty standard sheath. It's just a folded sheath, sewed down one edge, riveted, and they're made to wear on the left side, fairly low down on the left side. I don't particularly like it. I don't like the shape. It's about 1.5 to 2 mil thick leather, and I just don't like it. And now I'm retired, I thought, well, to give me something to do, I'd make a new sheath. This is the first sheath I've ever made. I sent away for some leather, I had some basic tools which I had, rivets, fasteners. I thought were quite a decent sheath. I've used 3.5 mil leather, which I had to send away for. I've dyed it British tan, they call it. I've never done any stitching or anything like that. So of course with this sheath I made a few mistakes. The stitching I did was just as though you were going to stitch a button on a shirt. I drilled the holes. I watched a few videos on YouTube. I stitched it in, out, in, out, in, out, as you would stitch a button on a shirt. Now the mistakes I made with this, which I thought were a pretty good sheath myself. The knife fits in lovely, it's tight, it's sturdy, it hangs well actually, but the mistakes, I made a couple of mistakes. I'll show you what I mean. There's no grooving down the stitch line, so the stitching is on the surface of the leather, as you can see. I'm trying to make it look nice. I shaped the belt hanger, and I did the split way of hanging on the belt. Now the big mistake I made was the width across here and here for hanging on a belt. A woodsman or anything, I think that would break. It wouldn't take long for that to break, and I wasn't quite as satisfied with it. So, and as you can see, it's home stitched at the back. I should have put a loop. I should have made it a leather loop to hang on the belt, which, can I just say, for another knife which had a crappy sheath, I made this one. So I grooved this. Again, I had the same sort of fitting but made it wider. This knife is one I bought years ago as well, a homemade knife of some sort, which I thought it's a nice sheath. So that was my second sheath, getting a little better. The third sheath I did was for this knife. I'm only showing you these because I keep thinking my sheaths are getting better. I also watched a video and I made this handle. Leather, wood, leather, wood, leather, wood, leather. Again, it's a big knife, and I'm pretty satisfied with that sheath. But again, another mistake I made. Sorry, not on that one. On this one, drilling the holes by hand, you can see where I didn't get them straight for the last inch or so. So I needed a drill press. I had a Dremel, I got a drill press. The fourth sheath I made, I had this little skinning knife. Again, watching videos, I hand stitched all this and moulded it, which I think is a pretty cool sheath. I know I'm not too good, but there's for hanging with. So back to the MOD knife. So this is my fifth knife sheath. I've just finished it for the MOD survival knife, British survival knife. This time I've grooved it all the way around. It's not just a bent over sheath. I've stitched it with an awl that I bought. I've made a belt loop, as you can see, a loop for the belt, and it's stitched and riveted and glued. The knife fits in tight. It wouldn't fall out, it won't fall out without the fastener, but I put a fastener on anyway, which of course is better. So that's my homemade sheath, my fifth homemade sheath, and this is the second one for the British MOD survival knife, which is a beautiful knife, but as I say, not too much about the knife because there's plenty of videos of it. And can I just show, I'll just show some of my collection, if I may. I've got bayonets, knives, some are good and some are not so good. There's a French bayonet there for the de Graaf rifle, I think that's what they call it. There's bayonets for the Garand. There's M4 bayonet here, which is a parade bayonet. It's nickel silver plated. There's a kukri there's a modern AK-47 bayonet, I think. British Fairbairn Sykes fighting dagger, and there's some British spike bayonets, and there's also an M4 knife blade bayonet, which which is fairly unusual. I think the British Navy had them. Anyway, that's just the collection I have. So I'll say thanks for that, thanks for looking. I've made, and going back to this MOD knife, it's a very heavy knife, so it does need a sturdy sheath. The knife itself weighs 1¼ pound, so I'm rather pleased with it. As I say, it's only my 5th sheath I've made, so let's hope I get better in the future. I need a few more knives to make sheath 4, and I think I'll have to sell or swap some of what I've got already. So thanks for watching, hope to see you later. Bye.